So thanks everyone for coming. Always really cool to be at Rezzed. This is the only video game conference where I actually get to play a lot of video games. So last night we were up LANing, so that's pretty awesome. So we've come a little bit further than we have from E3. So hopefully today what I'm going to be able to show you is some real progress. So without further ado, I will do some hackery and we will get into our mission. So what I've done is I've taken the build we showed at E3 and I've added in, we've used this is literally the current development build that was finished about an hour ago. So you can see in here at the moment we've got some debug data up in the top right, which is telling you about the hunger and thirst values, which are based on what we've researched for things like how many calories a human would normally use, all that kind of stuff. It's also clued in with sunshine. So if your character's warm and has been in the sun a lot, then you're going to use less calories than if you're in a very cold and you've been walking around and haven't been in the sun, all that kind of stuff. You can see the clothing the character's got on there. So we've started to put a lot of work into all different kinds of clothing that we've got. So if I take his head off there and put on a gas mask, you can see that he now looks like he's been in the zone. Run around a bit. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's happening there. Oh, I've lost my Ushanka hat. Where is that? Somewhere back here. There we go. And a lot of people have been asking me whether you can just double click or drag and drop. You can double click as well. So I guess there's a bunch of effort we've put into things like crafting. So you can see here we've got a bag of saline and transfusion assembly. So I can actually drag those onto there and I can create a assembled transfusion kit that can then be used. So I was making some Twitter posts about this as well before. You can find like saline. We're also now creating the ability for you to collect blood from either yourself or from other people, and then if you keep that blood cool and refrigerated, then you'll be able to use it later on. The whole disinfecting thing's quite important as well. So you need to disinfect things, protect yourself from cholera, other pathogens that might not cause you immediate concerns, but if you have a long-term character, can cause you real trouble. There's a couple of cool things that I want to try in here. So what we'll do is we'll run around and I'll show you, this is a new edition. Hopefully this doesn't get too loud for the PA thing. So I made a tweet a while ago about radio stations. So what we really want to do is have some sort of pirate radio stations going on inside DayZ. So we're going to be putting out applications because we think the best place for it to come from is the community. And so we're going to be asking people if they want to set up their own internet radio station. And then when I click play here, I can actually go through and I'll find one. So this is a current Czech internet radio station. I'll go find one that's got some music. Let's see if we can find something a little bit more apocalyptic-y. So there we go, this is classic music. So I can run around with the radio on me. Now people who are running around nearby me can hear some lovely classical music as I go around and shoot zombies, but I kind of want something a little bit more dramatic. So let's try absolute 60s, let's go 70s, let's go 80s. There we go. Welcome to the 80s. It's just like being a kid again. So if I put this on the ground, hopefully this will work with these speakers. You can hear it's actually positional. So you can really troll people very well with that, I think. Have some little 80s music cued in and going around. So we'll just leave it on the ground while we go and have a look around. The other thing I showed at E3 for those people who didn't see it. So you notice how now we're trying to get that quick bar to hide down the bottom. So I had to push a key then to bring it up. We really want to remove any immersion blockers and try and have everything being basically provided to you through sound effects or visual cues and all that kind of stuff. So if I open up these maps, apologies for those who've seen the E3 stuff. So I have the two segments there and I can actually craft those together. If I can remember where they are, there they go. So that's another crafting thing. One we've got here is, so this is a gas cooker, if you can see that, and this is a large gas canister. So I can actually put that on the gas canister, And if I put that down here, you can see the gas canisters inside there. And if I look down on the ground here, you can actually see the gas canister on the ground. If I just position that, so there we go, let's get it positioned. There we go there. So if I take the gas canister off, you can see the gas canisters removed from the thing. It's just on the left there. And if I put it back on, it's back on there. Same with things like the butane torch. I can put a butane gas canister on it and then light stuff and have a lot of fun with that. So we've also played around a lot with the with improvised weapon. Where are we? We've got something somewhere. Do I put a flare on the ground? No, I've got a flare here. Spray can and red flare. There we go. So we've also dealt with a lot. So I've got duct tape in here, so I can actually use that to attach this road flare to this can here, and I can actually create an explosive, an improvised explosive. Unfortunately, it's gone off the screen in my backpack, which is really irritating. But yeah, so we've added a bunch of new crafting items to let you create improvised explosives and all that kind of stuff. Oh, there we go. It's paired up here, so you can see there the improvised grenade. If I look at it, if I put it on the ground and have a look, I got a screenshot of it later on. That's a bit closer up, and you can see the spray can's actually been attached to the flare, and you can then throw it and blow people up and that kind of stuff. The 80s music's really setting things off. I quite like that. I should probably get a little bit further away. So one other thing I want to demonstrate here is some of the work we've done with the weapon attachment system. So if I go into my gear screen here, I can actually put the silencer. This is still very work in progress. Notice down here as well, there's a little hand icon saying that object is in my hands. If I put it away, the little icon goes away. So you can actually put any object that you have in your hands. So if I get rid of that and I put the disinfectant in my hands, you can see, unfortunately we haven't got the animation yet. Whoop. Hold on. That disinfectant's not going to be a lot of good against that zombie. So, ow. Let's not do that. Ow. Yeah, that was really suboptimal. So yeah. So the idea is you can put all these objects in your hands, and I'm just going to run away and hide somewhere. So what I can do is I can actually put that silencer on the weapon, and if you look now, you can see I've got a silencer on the weapon there. So our attachment system's quite flexible. We've got a lot of different attachments planned. All the weapons that we're actually adding to DayZ are new weapons that we're going to be adding in, and we're remaking them all again. You'll probably notice this AK looks quite a bit different, and yeah, we want to make sure. Actually, that 80s music's really starting to put me off now. I could definitely see a lot of trolling going on in the game with that. One other thing I demonstrated at E3 was all the effort we're putting into having loot spawning in quite dynamic locations. So we're really trying to make all the interiors look really good and just be really different. Any of like the doors and that you can't enter, we're going to be putting wood across them so that it's that you can't actually enter in on them. So I can't jump over that door apparently. Let me get something out of the back here. What do we got? Transfusion kit. Oh, I don't think she likes me very much. So as usual, we still haven't got the syncing at the moment of the attacks and the animations themselves. I'm gonna run out of ammunition here and it's gonna get really embarrassing. At least I've got away from that damn 80s music. Yeah, so you can see up in the top right, see if the foot damage value is actually increasing. So we actually have different durability values for different footwear, and different material that you actually run on will increase damage on either your feet themselves or the shoes themselves. So if I take my shoes off and run around, my feet will slowly get damaged if I run on things like concrete, or particularly if I sprint. if I run on things like gravel and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, it makes a huge difference to the player. They end up, we're motion capturing it next week with a damaged series of animations that basically you're limping around and you're injured and all that kind of stuff. So to give you a nice look, we were doing it before. I'll actually slow down the time so you can see some of the animations, how we've put a lot of work into trying to make them look look better. This is a new player skeleton. There's still some improvements to happen with that because we haven't removed the old configuration that we have. So there's still a few more improvements that we can actually have with that. At least I've got rid of those zombies. What I might do is, how do I do this? There we go. And if I do a little hop there, you can see the hop is. We're pretty pleased with the hop. It feels a lot. The game feels a lot more fluid than it has been previously. And now my head's stuck in that view. Yeah, so another thing that you end up having to do to protect against disease is use purification tablets. I demonstrated that at E3 as well. And we've also been implementing, unfortunately I was trying to get it working before but I couldn't, was scavenging. So you're going to be able to go around the trees, go to the tree, select an option to harvest wood from it, pick up grass from the ground. All this kind of stuff is going to become useful in terms of crafting. And all those situations where I was putting the disinfectant in my hand, you can actually use that object either to bash people with, or if I put an object on the ground now, like the gas canister, and I actually look at the gas canister, I can actually, because I've got the disinfectant in my hand, I can actually disinfect the item with what's in my hand. Yeah. So we've been expanding the world quite a lot. You can see there, I was talking about the little icon over the hand. Obviously the UI is still placeholder. There's still a lot of work that we're doing on it, but we're pretty happy about the progress we've been making with it. We think it's a lot more fluid than it was previously, and particularly the idea of the way we're doing the backpacks and things like that. I think it's making things a lot easier. The values we've got here are only temporary, so you can see there's 6 slots for the shirt and 6 slots for the pants. That's actually, basically we just haven't finished balancing that yet. And yeah, so all that's going to change. What I'm going to show you inside here is, and I didn't get killed by the door, which is great, is how we're doing now the loot spawns. So you can see that loot now spawns, some of it floating. Basically all around the world, and you actually have to walk around and pick stuff up. And you can either do it by looking at it and picking it up, or if it's very close by, you can actually use the vicinity. But see how that's not close enough. So it really encourages you to look around and find stuff and actually scavenge for stuff. So if you look at hunger there, you can see that at the moment my hunger is negative. So I'm going to eat a can of beans here, and you should see it go even further down. So it means that's how many calories basically below being hungry that I am. If I go in and do some hackery using our development console here, and I will set myself up so that I am really hungry. Oh, actually, I'll do it. I'm a little hungry. How about that? So you can see now I'm starting to get context information in the bottom left there saying you're feeling hungry. If anyone's used Space Station 13 before or played a game like that, it's a very similar kind of prospect, something like an adventure game where it's telling you what's going on. And I think the procedure that we're going to go with from here is, for the initial alpha, pretty much everything will be provided down there. But as we get the chance to and experiment with it, we'll be replacing it with animations that are placed on your player. We'll be replacing it with sound effects and all those kinds of things. A lot of people have been complaining that the sounds are the same from Arma 2. They are. But sounds are something we want to replace once we've nailed the gameplay down. So we've just bought the guys who did the zombie sounds on the mod. They've got their own little sound studio, so we're bringing them back on board to redo, along with some other people, all the sounds in game. Everything from eating to drinking, all the different weapons. Everything does get redone, but it's something we have to leave until later on. And water is the same kind of thing as well. Drinking and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, we've actually got the sound effect in there. So you can see his thirst goes down there. So I'm gonna make him a little bit more hungry. Let's make him really hungry. So eventually, every now and then, you'll see context stuff starts to pop up. And I guess it's important to note, and because I'm trying not to say those 4 things Reddit say that I say too much and they've got a drinking game about, because of the approach that we've taken with the way the server is set up, all the status messages are generated on the server. So that makes a really big impact on hacking. It means that you can't create items on your character can't set its own variables and values. Any of those things basically can't happen. These variables you see in the top right, they don't even exist on your client. The server controls your client completely. If you disconnect from the server, it means that your character is still there for a period of time, which we're hoping will help us with oh, look at that, nice little error popped up. Little zombie couldn't find me. Yeah, so it basically means that we can start dealing with issues like the combat logging and things like that we know were big issues for people from the mod itself. Yeah, so I guess the big question that a lot of people have is when we're actually going to get this out. And the period that we've set a date now, like a window of about a week, and we're not going to say that when that is, because we originally were going to release them in 50,000 key increments, but we've decided to do kind of everything all together. And so we really want to focus on making sure the architecture is good, so that we can get things back. Thought it'd be nice if we finished off with some more 80s music.